What's up, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast for the Memorial Tournament. And you know what? We've got an exciting show for you tonight. In a minute, I'm going to bring in DB, who is he's off to the side. I don't know what he's doing. He's off to the side, just messing around. But we got a great guest. Actually, I'm going to bring in our guest first, Mr. Brett Swedberg. Brett, welcome to the show. You know what? You're much prettier than DB, so I'd rather have you enter first, and then I can bring in DB, you know?
I can still hear you.
Oh, you can? Oh, I didn't know you could hear me. Okay.
No, he's got a nicer beard than me.
Well, we're gonna get into Swedberg here in a little bit because he's had a big week. All right, he's had a big week recently. But DB, I gotta know what's the deal here? Why are you off to the side? Like, just bring yourself in here so we can start this show.
I'm still in the dry spell, Pat, and inspired by your wisdom from months earlier when you drew the butterfly on your face. I felt inspired because it's time for me to hit an outright, and it is time for me to rise from the ashes. Phoenix.
Oh my goodness.
Kind of a
yes, that's a phoenix. Is that what that is?
Kind of a fluffy phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little fluffy.
Did you draw this yourself?
I did have a little bit of help. I had a little bit of help. But my betting card, I got to rise from the ashes, man. I got to rise from the ashes here. And between the Phoenix, maybe Swedberg being here, vibes will be high. Swedberg just smells like money right now. I can smell him through the technology here. Mm-hmm. So it's time, and I'm excited. We can talk more about that later. Congratulations on your Grillo hit, Pat. And this is kind of painful to say in front of Brett. Yeah, but you did have Grillo on the card, and we can just move on. Okay. But our friend Brett Swedberg, second time on the Tour Junkies podcast or third? Have you been on?
I maybe was on just for a little bit with Gino and Fleener, like during COVID. But yeah, when I started working for Ryan like 4 years ago, you guys had me on. So yeah, second time, we'll say.
Well, I know you don't have a lot of time, but now full-time looper for Mr. Adam Schenk. Thank you very much. And you had quite the week last week at Memorial. And, you know, Colonial, yeah. I texted you this, that we had the Nut Hut, like, full-on vibing for you guys. And I'm really proud of how they showed out. I put out a video on Sunday morning and said, listen, our boy Swedberg's on the bag, and him and Schenk looking for their first victory on the PGA Tour. We're gonna even if all you got's $1, we're gonna fire away at, I think he was like plus 230 going into Sunday.
Yeah.
And we did, and we all fired, and we were riding with you. But I mean, talk about your week, talk about first time out with Schenk, and your day yesterday.
Yeah. Obviously it was a great week. We started practice on Tuesday. I walked the course in the morning, and then we met up, and that was actually, I had met him and we had talked, but we didn't know each other super well. So thankfully he had his coach, Rob Bradley, out there. He's the head coach at Purdue, and now he's been Adam's swing coach and have been helping him out for a while. So the three of us just hung out a bunch and kind of talked about, his game. And I actually, David Cookie, his caddy, for the last, I don't know, maybe year, him and I have talked a bunch as well, because he's going to Webb Simpson here pretty soon. That's kind of how this all transpired. So yeah, this was going to be it was kind of going to be just 1 week, and then do maybe 2 more this summer, and then kind of see how things went. But, pretty much was going to be full-time starting the fall. That was going to be kind of the latest we were going to start full-time. So yeah, we had a great practice on Tuesday, and he had a baby about a month ago, or maybe a little more than a month ago. So, obviously being a first-time dad is awesome, but it's also a little tricky with an occupation, especially like golf. So, but he grinded really hard on Tuesday, Wednesday in the Pro-Am. He hits the ball really solid, knows his game really well. And I think, just 9-hole Pro-Am, middle pins, but he had, I think, eight birdie putts inside of 15 feet. And I was kind of like, I think we're going to do okay this week, and he just basically talked about, let's be smart. Let's get the ball in play. Obviously the course is going to change throughout the week. And if I putt well, I know I can play well pretty much anywhere I'm at. So that was the vibe. And so we putted a bunch. I even had some putting contests, took a bunch of my money, and and Coach Bradley won a couple of times as well. But it was good. His prep was great, and I heading to that first tee on Thursday, I felt really good about things, and just tried to, everyone says take one shot at a time, one hole at a time, but not to get too far ahead or not regret stuff from the past. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a great week. He's a great dude, and he's really good at golf.
So what's it like when you're starting out with a new player? I'm sure you guys have to have like this sit down and say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what, like, how does that, what is that conversation about? Like, is he, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to ask here other than how does that work when you don't really know the guy that well?
Yeah, every player wants a little bit something different, and personalities need to mesh, and that just makes things a lot easier. And I'm pretty laid back out there on the golf course, and that's kind of somebody that he wants and that he likes, and not get too high or too low. And it's been a pretty easy transition. And yes, we had a great first week, so that's going to make it easier. But Cookie, his caddy, that's been with him, he and I have had a bunch of conversation over the last couple of weeks on what he likes, what he doesn't like. So, I pretty much knew for the most part what I could do to help him out there and help him make good decisions, and, read a bunch of putts with him, and just, do some small things for him. And yeah, he's just trying to be like a couple steps ahead all the time. That's what's going to make a pretty good caddy. So we just had conversation while we were practicing, and he likes to get lined up. He likes having someone line him up on the putting green, and
notice that. Yeah,
he gets he can get a little right and kind of pull putts just a little bit. I mean, I didn't really see it at all, but I think that's maybe been his tendency in the past. So it's just some extra little bit of confidence, going into the putt, mostly just inside of 10 feet. So yeah, we just talked through a lot of things on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I learned a few things on, Thursday, Friday, but he was really good those first two rounds. So there wasn't, a whole lot of conversation that had to be had, mostly just eliminating stupid decisions and missing in bad spots. That's going to drive any golfer mad, and especially Adam. He's just, he hates making bad decisions out there, and rightfully so. So, I mean, there was just a couple that we probably made throughout the week that I'd have back, but overall, I think we made a lot of really good decisions, and he hit a lot of really, really good golf shots.
I need to get right into this, Brett, because I've been wanting to ask this for the last, 24 hours or so. But, on 18, you had a putt to win it.
Yeah.
It looked to me, now listen, I know that you're a man of many words and great words. I've heard them, but it looked like you whispered sweet nothings.
Oh yeah.
Into his ear right before he was about to putt. What did you say? What did you say? Because it felt like there was something.
You were kind of like,
yeah.
I have no idea why. I blacked out for probably the last 45 minutes of that round of the playoffs. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you anything that I said those last, the last three holes and the two holes in the playoff.
You could have told him like you got a great ass, or
anything.
It looked like you said something very
know.
kind, very kind.
Yeah.
And sweet.
It was gentle. I'm sure it was I'm pretty gentle out there.
Yeah.
I'm not a super big rah guy. So as see the ball going in the hole, something stupid like that. Probably.
We were live calling. We were doing a live watch along in the Discord, pulling for you, and we definitely saw that go down, and we were like, oh, like. God, got to know what he said there. That was brilliant. But if you blacked out, yeah, totally understand.
Yeah, you won't remember.
Like anything like what really is going to stand out to you, like a big memory from yesterday. Like I don't know, like something small that maybe people wouldn't know or expect or understand from your perspective when you look back at yesterday.
Positive or negative, or just kind of anything?
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, I think he handled some shots that he hit some really good shots that ended up in, I'd say, mediocre spots. The greens were so firm. It played so tough that, you're not exactly punting sometimes, but, the wind's swirling, we hit, I could go back on hole 6. We hit driver off the tee, straight into the wind, and he's kind of trying to hit a spinny one, and it flew a little bit too far into the fairway bunker, but it was fine. It wasn't like a super tough bunker shot, and we hit a little heavy out of there and made bogey, and I underread his par putt by a little bit and handled it well. And then, we've got like 166 to a back pin on 7. We can't hit, and the ball's going a mile. can't hit gap wedge because you're trying to land it 10, 12 yards short of the hole. And he's like, let's just kind of, hit a floaty, soft pitching wedge, hits it perfect, trickles over the green. It's not dead, but it's like, instead of having a birdie putt inside of 15 feet, he's just, he's like, hey, it is what it is. We hit the best shot we could hit. And that happened a bunch yesterday. Even we got to 13, the par 3, the wind's straight into us on 12, hits a wedge just short of the green, can't miss long. And he putted a couple times from like 15, 20 yards off the green, and actually hit some really good putts. But get to 13, the wind should be, hurting off the left, and he's actually sitting up there with like kind of a chippy cut 6-iron, and the wind kind of switches, and he just grabs 7-iron, and which I'm just like, that's perfect, going to get to the middle of the green, and he nuked it, and the wind was actually probably helping a little bit off the left, and you're missing long sucks there, missing shorts way worse. So, but he handled it really well. We finished the hole, and he, instead of being pissed off at me or in general, he just kind of chuckled about it, and said, all right, let's hit the next shot. And so he handles those situations really well where, I could have probably done a few things better for him. And I think I will going forward. But yeah, he's just really good at moving on from, maybe a shot that he thinks he hits really good that doesn't end up in a great spot or the exact spot we think. So that was really cool to see that
Pat's
out of
really
him.
good at that. Pat's really good at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it about like Colonial and then, the Valspar? He was obviously, I know you weren't on the bag at the Valspar,
Yeah.
but he obviously was in contention there, and, difficult course, another difficult course this week at Colonial. Is that the kind of profile of a course for him, or you think there's some other ones that, that like, what do you think his game is really like ideal for as far as course setup?
Gosh, I feel like he can play well at a lot of places. He hits it really far, and he's really smart. Like his golf IQ is really high, and hates making dumb bogeys. So plays a little bit conservative sometimes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think he can play well on tough courses. But you get some softer courses this summer, playing John Deere in Minnesota, or even some of the majors coming up. I just think that he understands his game really well, where it can travel pretty much anywhere. And I'd say Valspar is very similar to Colonial, and he was, finished second in both of those. So, yeah, he has a pretty good idea where his misses are going to be. And then if he putts, average to better than average, he should have some really good finishes.
Well, I know you got to get out of here. I guess maybe last question here. Is it pretty unusual that like the player's departing caddy is helping the incoming caddy like understand the player, and like you're talking about you and Cookie talking? That seems a little unusual to me. Or I think many people would assume that.
Yeah, I think Cookie's a great dude. Adam's a great dude, and with Cookie already knowing that he's going to Webb, and the situation's been pretty much ideal. I'd say pretty seamless, as the timeline's been a little bit tricky, but we've all had conversations about how we want things to go, and me and David Cookie have both been, whatever's gonna be best for Adam, as far as because they've played well together, and he's in a really good spot in the FedEx Cup. And so we both have just said whatever he wants and whatever's going to be best for him is what we're going to do. And so whether that was going to be caddying 2 or 3 times this summer for him and then filling in for a couple guys, I was going to do that, pretty much knowing that I'd start full time in the fall. So I think it is rare, but David's a great dude, and he wants Adam to have some success, and he wants me to have success. And I think him knowing that he has another bag in a place that he wants to be made things pretty easy. So yeah, I'd say it's a little bit different, but it was a different situation too.
Yeah. So you're looping in the U.S. Open for him, right?
Yes, if he's in. I don't even know if he's in yet. I think he's 60 in the world right now. So if things go okay this week, then I believe he's in. I don't even honestly know how that goes. He's planning on going to the sectional qualifier after the Memorial up in Columbus.
Yeah.
So I'll either start with him. Few scenarios. He might go to Canada next week, so I'll go to Canada. If he doesn't go to Canada and he's in US Open, then US Open. If he doesn't play either, then I'll go Travelers.
Love you, Brett. Thanks for being on, man. We appreciate it. We know you got to go do your family thing. Congratulations. I know it wasn't the best possible outcome, but it was a really good one. We enjoyed watching you, and believe you guys are going to be a good combo, man. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Love you, Swedberg.
Love you guys.
Swedberg's he's so mild on the phone, like he's such a tiger on text messages and stuff. Oh gosh, welcome to the Tour Junkies show, everybody. Yeah, a little bit of a different setup here, intro here with Swedberg, but we appreciate everybody hopping on. As always, presented to you by our friends at Leaderboard, and that was really down the leaderboard. We're just going to stop right there at Adam Schenk and talk about Brett Swedberg. But go check out the Leaderboard app. It is the perfect spot to track your own golf game, have games with your friends on the course, bet with your friends on the course. Let Leaderboard keep track of all the strokes, all the handicapping, who owes who money at the end, kick it a Venmo, syncs up with the USGA, so your GIN is entered right there on the Leaderboard app, and you don't have to go back into the USGA app. Download it in the description below and use promo code TJ when you do. Pat, congratulations again on Emiliano Grillo. A 40-unit bomb. That is, now I don't know why you don't put your units on the tweet, but you put your units in the Nut Hut in the Discord.
Yeah, I guess
half a unit on Grillo at 80-1.
Yeah.
And for the second win in 8 years, he gets it done, and you had him, man. Congratulations.
Well, I tell you what, and he certainly tried to give it away.
He sure did.
A little bit weird what he was doing there on 18. I don't know. I mean, damn, you got a 2-shot lead on a very tough golf course. All you got to do is just get it out there, not into an aqueduct. That you don't need to hit it into that.
How many people didn't even know what an aqueduct was before that?
I don't know. I mean, Roman times were the last time we've seen aqueducts.
That was real biblical of him.
Yeah.
I don't even and then the whole kids thing. The whole kids thing when he was waiting for the playoff. I mean, stand-up guy for sure. I just, I kind of think the dad of those kids is kind of a punk, because like, what dad is going to let his kids go over there and bang on the fence and holler at a dude who's waiting to get in a possible playoff?
Yeah,
to win a PGA Tour event. Like, I'd be like, boys, get your tail over here. Leave that man alone. He's working. I mean, if you're trying to close a big deal, Pat, and sign on the dotted line, and you're in there talking, waiting on your client walking in the door, and I just send my kids in there to go follow you around and what do we do? What are we doing?
All I can say is maybe that's how he relaxes a little bit. Like, he just some people needed a drink. He needed to teach some kids how to play golf. I don't know.
Kid did have a good move on him though. He had a good move.
He was cross-handed.
Well, he was lefty. He was a lefty.
He's lefty. I know he was a lefty.
But I mean, great move from the right side. Dang.
It was. It was. I mean, I don't know. It was a little bit weird to me, but whatever. He won. But it was. But yeah, it was a good tournament. Weird. It's interesting when they're just letting a golf course completely go. It actually makes it a lot more fun to me. But
the greens got pink. They were like pinkish towards the end of the day.
Yeah,
it had a hue about them, like rosy cheeks. Like your cheeks are kind of rosy tonight, Pat. Are you?
Well, I spent some time in the sun today.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were on the boat. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Thank you, by the way, to all those men and women who've served our country in the military. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Yes. It also looks like we're both rocking our Scotland gear. You got the Kings Barn shirt. I got the North Berwick hoodie on.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's Memorial Day, USA. Here we are with our Scotland stuff on.
Oh, all right. Let's talk about Memorial. Speaking of it, we know Jack's Place, right? Big time renovation a couple years ago after 2020. Cream of the crop here, right? You got a lot of studs here. Elevated event. We're not going to get into a whole lot of detail about the golf course. You know what's up. And you can also find plenty of information on the golf course on tourjunkies.com. There's some great free blog material out there for you, including our boy Nate's rundown piece, my Big Balls betting card. You can check out, and then our boy Jack Latterman doing Around the Clubhouse. I've seen some previews of that. There's some funny stuff in that one. The Power Fade by AK, and then Vince Margiotta is going to bring you Let's Go Juicing. Okay, yeah. The boy's hot right now, so check all that out if you want more info. But let's talk about this golf tournament, Pat. The top of the board, we've got Rahm and Scheffler back. Rory's back. All the big names, all the big guns up here. And, Scheffler kind of the co-favorite. I mean, is the favorite right now, with Rahm not getting a whole lot of love after the PGA Championship kind of let down. But this is a place Rahm has dominated, even though, the year Cantlay won. What was that, 2021? Was it 2021? Was it Cantlay when Cantlay technically won, but Rahm had the positive COVID?
Oh yeah, 20. Yeah,
was that 20? That was 2021. Yeah, because he won in 2020. This tournament's had some weird, dude. how funny was I'd kind of forgotten that in 2020 we had 2 tournaments here back to back, and they both played completely different.
That's right, because Morikawa won the first one, right?
He won the first one, the workday.
Yeah.
And, like, Jack they set it up real easy, and it was soft, and the greens were slower, and then they just turned the page. It was very Augusta-like. It would be like they just turned the page and made the golf course hard. And Rahm won that Memorial. But then in 2021, he had like a 5 or 6 shot lead after round 3, and he had a positive COVID test. And now looking back at that, like, how stupid was all of that? So
Was
Cantlay ends up winning. But anyway, it's looking like it's going to be the firm and fast test that we all know, Uncle Jack wants. He wants it to play firm and fast. There doesn't appear to be any, if any, rain, very little in the forecast. Little bit of wind, but not anything to be concerned about. So I think he's gonna turn it up. I think Memorial is like, I said it today on the First Look show. It seems like Jack kind of wants this place to be like a little bit of a PGA Championship before the PGA Championship kind of changed its identity to like kind of a U.S. Open, right? It's like I feel like Jack wants this thing to be like a 9 or 10 under situation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, and it's a great course for that. I mean, he gets it set up, fast. I mean, these greens are going to be lightning quick. Rough's probably going to be up around the greens, making scrambling a little bit more difficult. So, I mean, it's going to be it's a major type setting, obviously a major type field. I think you'll probably get a little bit better than 10 under, but it is probably still 12 to 14 under to me is what you're going to see.
So looking at the top of the board, is Rahm the bet at plus 750?
For me, it is, DB. Actually, I think this is a week. If you're going to go bet on Rahm and you want to take, a guy out top here, I know Scheffler's been great. I mean, his ball striking has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, better than anything we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Scheffler was better at the PGA Championship. I get that. But I think you're getting I just like the value we're seeing out of Rahm. I've seen him at plus 800 on some books. If you get him at plus 800, I think you jump on that. Or plus 750, where I'm still seeing him. I like that. I like that better than Scheffler. I like the value there.
Well, I think we have some early agreement up top. The more I thought about it today after looking at it, the more I was like, I just think we buy Rahm at a slight discount here. I mean, these two have been co-favorites, very closely, positioned at the top of odds boards when they're playing together. And I mean, they still are, but the plus 750, I think I'll take a shot at Rahm, who obviously has had tremendous success here. And I'm not sweating a middling finish at the PGA Championship. So I agree. And then as we work down, my next question to you is, are you tempted by Rory after the PGA Championship week at around 14 to 1? Are you doing some Rory McIlroy?
Let me tell you, I am tempted, DV. I am. I stayed away for the PGA. Okay, I did it. Mm-hmm. Did what I said I was going to do.
Good for you. He didn't win.
I stayed away.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling I feel like diving back in. I can't stay away for too long. I don't know. 14 to 1 Rory. I will say this, though. He doesn't exactly have the best history here the last, since the redo. His best finish is 2 in a row, T18. So it's not like Rory is just lighting this place up. But 14 to 1 is tempting to me.
Yeah.
Now I know it's not for you. I know you're not going to do it. But
well, no, honestly, I mean, I've kind of thought about it. I have kind of thought about it. I think when it's not a major and I'm getting Rory at 14 to 1, it's actually a little more tempting to me. I think there's less pressure on Rory. There's less on his shoulders. There's less hoopla about him taking down when's he going to get his next major. I mean, because it's never about the major championship test in terms of the golf course that I'm worried about with Rory. It's just the mental side of, he just seems like he can't pull it together in those 4 weeks every year. But
how long has that Phoenix been on your face?
About 30 minutes.
Do you think it changed your whole persona?
What if it did?
Like, what's going on here?
Oh my God. Okay, well, I did think about Rory, but I don't want it.
Okay.
I was going to say,
So you're fighting the Phoenix? Possibly.
or maybe. God, I don't know. It's
Okay.
strange.
Anyway,
we just got to roll with it. I'm trusting
let's
the
see what
Phoenix.
happens.
Whatever's
Yeah.
said, yeah. I will say Cantlay to me is the next move up here. It's to me in the 25-1 or shorter range. Cantlay and Rahm are kind of it. I think you could make an argument. You could make the argument that Cantlay may even be a better bet here than Jon Rahm right now, coming off the PGA. But I like both of them. But I definitely like Cantlay over Rory and the rest of the guys in here, with just his incredible ability at Memorial. You know, the fairways are a little wider, a little more forgiving at Memorial, and being in the fairways is crucial. If you want to win, you better be in the fairway. You cannot be in the fairway and finish maybe top 20, sure. But if you want to win, you have to be in the fairway. And the shorter clubs that you have in your hand into these firm, fast greens that you can control your distances, land softly, get them to do what you want them to do, and give yourself opportunities. That is what Patrick Cantlay is going to be able to do, because that driver is an absolute weapon, in terms of just the length and accuracy that he is able to do. So I'm actually tempted at Cantlay at 10-1, and I feel it feels like a little bit of a, like I'm like buying at the wrong price for Cantlay, because I'm not really usually a Cantlay buyer, but something about Memorial, like I just feel like there's something to experience around Memorial, good vibes around Memorial, knowing what shots to hit and when to hit them at Memorial, and I think Cantlay has that down along with Rahm. So I'm gonna ride with the two guys at the top who just have it figured out at Jack's Place. That's what I'm doing. Now, I do have a question for you about two other guys in here, and then I want to talk about maybe a guy that we are considering avoiding. But before I do that, I do want to remind everybody to check out the Pickett app. You can download the Pickett app in the description of the podcast. Use promo code TJ when you do, and then sync up one of your sports books that you use. Or it could be a DFS site like Prize Picks, Underdog, Sleeper, Parlay Play. There's a bunch of them. If you are doing any of those, then sync it up on Pickett and have the free app and track your stuff. Understand your betting tendencies. Understand what you're good at, what you're bad at, what types of bets, what sports you're having more success on. And then, of course, you can track other handicappers on Pickett. And if there's somebody up there that's throwing out a bunch of plays and they look interesting to you, you can go and check out their calendar and see how profitable they really are, because Pickett is tracking their bets. So you can tail some bets. You can do all kind of stuff. If you see a bet you like, you can hit the copy bet button. And if you're in a legal state and that bet is still available, it will move over to whatever sportsbook it's on, autofill the bet for you, and bing bong, now you've got the bet loaded up in your sportsbook. So it is just a really powerful app, and it's a free app for iOS and Android users. In fact, they will pay you if you use promo code TJ and then you sync up one sportsbook. They'll pay you money to download the app. They will send it to your PayPal for sure. $3 or $100. One person a day wins $100 on the Pickett app. So check it out. Referral code TJ. All right, Pat, I want to talk about a couple more guys in this top tier. Would you, if I gave you these two guys, Morikawa and Viktor Hovland, can you be convinced to bet Morikawa over Hovland if you had to only bet one of them?
Oh man, I mean,
This is coming from someone who bet on, or who was all over Morikawa last week, and he finished a freaking 29th.
And I was all over Hovland.
Yeah,
and he did okay, although he leaked some oil down the stretch. I have Hovland written down actually, and I really want to bet Hovland. I know he doesn't have a great history here, but I just feel like the way he's hitting the ball right now is, he's up there. And Morikawa is just so inconsistent. His ball striking's inconsistent. I don't know. You probably have the stats in front of you that are. I had to restart here.
His ball striking's still solid.
It always is, I guess.
Yeah, his irons are still fantastic. He gained 4.5 strokes with his irons last week.
But both of them are top 10 in the field in that.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're splitting hairs a little bit between the two as far as their ball striking. Viktor Hovland's always going to be, one that we're worried about with scrambling, which I do think is a big deal here. I think
it's less about the stats with these two, because like you said, they are so close, and it's more about which one do I trust right now will actually win. And it feels
Well,
like Victor is so much closer to that than Colin Morikawa is right now.
I think it's Victor. And here is the one stat, though, that I do think is important. If you're looking over their last, 24 rounds or so, bogey avoidance. And when you get on a difficult golf course and you're making bogeys, you can't, Colin is really making a lot of mistakes, I feel like, in the last few weeks, in the last few tournaments. And Hovland's he's just not making those mistakes that Colin is. And so I trust Victor more. I like the 22-1 number. Again, I know his history here isn't great, but for me, it's Victor over Morikawa.
Speaking of bogey avoidance, I was going to say one of the biggest names in here that I think I will pass on is going to be Justin Thomas. Not rating out well in bogey avoidance. By the way, finished 65th at the PGA. Just a couple top 10s in 2023 and really hasn't made much noise at Memorial since like 2018, 2017, Justin Thomas. The putter is concerning right now. And not that you have to be an amazing putter, I think, to win here. I think these bent grass greens are so incredibly good that it's okay. But JT's putter has been cold. The ball striking has been fine, but it's not been the JT that we're used to seeing. And he doesn't rank too well bogey avoidance last 50 rounds. He's 63rd in this field. There's a lot of shots over that 175, like kind of the 175 to 200 yard range here at Colonial. I keep wanting to say Colonial at Muirfield Village, and he's 69th in the last 50 rounds in that category. I think JT is probably the one I'm going to stay away from here.
Yeah, I don't mind it staying away from him. For me, I think it's Xander. DB, it's Xander again.
Xander's kind of one that I'm scared. I'm not going to obviously bet a whole lot of people up here, and on Big Ball's betting card, I can't bet any of them, but he would be one that I'm actually a little scared to not have exposure to.
Well, he certainly has a good history here. He's got a lot. 4 straight top 20 finishes here. He's definitely going to check a lot of boxes. He just doesn't win a lot. He doesn't win a lot.
Yeah.
At least as far as I'm concerned.
He doesn't.
Now, neither does Victor, really. Neither does Victor.
Kistler in the chat. I think he's a University of Phoenix alum. Welcome, Jesse. First-time viewer. First time, so y'all better be drunk. By y'all, he means the host. Well,
oh, my goodness.
Jesse, I am not there yet, but by near the end or maybe by the DFS show tonight, I will be, because I am drinking some tequila. I've got a little ranch water in here. And, this is a kind of a fluffy phoenix on my face. I'm rising from the ashes to churn up some good outright mojo, because I'm in a dry spell and I got to get out of it. So let's go. Pat, what are you drinking tonight, by the way?
I got a beer. It's Tybee Island Blonde, which is Tybee's right near Savannah. It's a
boring ass beach if I've ever seen one.
What are you talking about? Tybee is the best people watching beach on earth.
There's people there. When I went there, there were no people there, and it was in the summer. It was like,
oh, come on. You have not been at Tybee at the right time. Tybee is
the summer a bad time?
That's a great time. I don't know what the hell?
I don't know. It was not good. It was years ago. I've never been back. I don't know. But I hope you're enjoying the Blonde Ale.
You must have been in the wrong spot at Tybee, is all I can say.
Let's move on to the mid-range, because this is where all my bets are coming from, buddy.
I got a lot of them here too.
This is it. I do not have very many bombs at all. We're gonna get to some bombs. We're gonna get to our top 26 pack at the end of this, but this is the range. And I want to ask you a question about a player in here first, Mr. Jordan Spieth. Okay. Around 35, as high as 40-1, maybe 40-1. Jordan Spieth, is he sharp enough to win right now, in your opinion?
I don't think he is.
You don't?
I think Jordan is. As a matter of fact, I like Jordan this week.
Okay.
You may see him appear later in the show.
Okay.
I don't know if I think he can win, but I do think he can have a good week on this golf course. But I'm not ready. Yeah. So I'm not really, the words, I'm thinking of the words, but they're not coming out of my mouth. Anyway,
Words are hard.
words can be difficult sometimes.
I think I'm not positive here, but I think that the last time he lost strokes around the green for 3 consecutive tournaments, I find you got to go back to June of 2020, coming out of Corvid.
Not a good time.
But actually, in a 3-week stint, I don't know that he's ever lost as many strokes around the green as he's lost the last 3 weeks between Wells Fargo, PGA, and Charles Schwab. And he's not hitting his irons terribly. Like this isn't like really bad. I don't know. Maybe he's not getting a lot of opportunities. I don't know, but it's a little jarring to see Jordan's short game not good right now. It's very, very strange to see it. So I don't know. He's got a tremendous record around here, in my opinion, even though he's only got 2 top 10s, but very solid record around Memorial. It's very tempting to me at the number. It almost feels like one of those auto bets, like where you just, who cares? You get a certain player at a certain number, unless they look like they're freaking, they're dealing with like swine flu or something. Like you just bet it. It's just, you just do it and it's done. It's kind of approaching that to me when it's 40-1 at a course where he's had plenty of success.
Yeah, I mean, I think the odds there are very good for Jordan. I just don't know. I don't feel like it's he's ready. He's ready yet.
The problem is there's too many good players in this range that are popping, and I got a feeling we will both have some agreement here. I want to start with Tyrrell Hatton.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrrell Hatton was one we fired on early this morning in the First Look show. We did the First Look show with the Nut Hut Discord Familia. It was a good show, and he was 33-1 on FanDuel, and I was like, that we are sending that right now. We are going to go ahead and do that. And then I was digging a little deeper, and I was looking at Hatton. I was like, man, kind of a little concerning again when you talk about course history around Memorial and that being important, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he's only played it one time, and it was pre-renovation in 2019. It was a T33 finish. But then I started looking around a little more. Let's see. Let's go to the Wells Fargo just a few weeks ago where he finished 3rd. And if you look at the Wells Fargo, he played the Wells Fargo last year, but it wasn't at Quail Hollow. He played the Wells Fargo in 2018 when it was at Quail Hollow. One time, finished 42nd. And then here he is this year, 3rd. In the discussion. I don't think he was super close to Xander and Wyndham Clark, but pretty freaking close enough, right? So I was like, okay. Well, then if you look at Hatton again, let's go down to the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Let's see, finishes 6th at the Waste Management. Well, he actually never played the Waste Management Phoenix Open before that day or before that week. And finishes 6th. Same thing. If you go to last year and you look at the Wyndham, he finishes 8th in August at the Wyndham. Never played the Wyndham before. Actually, he played it in 2016, missed the cut. So between Quail Hollow, TPC Scottsdale, and Sedgefield, he'd either never played him or he played it one time. And he still had these top 10 finishes and was in the conversation. And I think it gives me a little comfort to know that that's just how good he's playing right now. And I like it on a difficult track. I think Hatton is for sure a bet at 33-1. It's one of my favorites on the board.
Yeah, he is. I'm totally with you. He's one of my favorites on the board too. So I don't really need to go much further on it. I am totally with you. I love Hatton this week, and he will definitely be a I think if I'm talking about my units, DB.
Yeah,
I'm going 1.5 units. Maybe 2 units. I may be doubling my units on them.
Yeah, I think I nearly went 1.5 units on the betting card with him. So I'm with you.
Good.
Who else? There's a lot of names. We can just rapid fire.
All right. So here's another couple that I like. I tell you what, I like Sahith.
I kind of do too.
I like Sahith.
And I have not been betting Sahith. I don't know if I've bet him all. I think I've bet him maybe once.
Well, I think that, one of the things with Sahith is always going to be, he gets a little squirrely with the driver.
Yeah.
We get that. But this is a guy that, he's a good ball striker. He's a great scrambler. He's just got a good kind of like steady all around game. And this feels like a Sahith week. He's also got a good history here too. I mean, you look at, he's played here twice. His first time ever was in 2021. He finished 32nd. Last year, he finished T5. Sahith feels like a really good bet, and I'm seeing him at 55 to 1. I don't know if he's any longer anywhere else or if that's
Well, if you're at the first look show again, people, we hit Sahith at 75 to 1 this morning,
which is incredible. If you
Y'all,
get Sahith at 75 to 1,
that's
come on, you're feeling a victory already right there.
I feel a victory. Yeah, that's the benefit of that first look show, man. If you're in the Nut Hut and you're in the Discord, you don't make that happen. I know it's in the morning on a Monday, it's kind of tough, but we do it live, we do it together as a family. We talk through some good names, we fire on outrights that we like. And week to week it can change in terms of which book is giving us the better numbers. And this morning FanDuel was asleep, y'all. They were asleep. Every number we looked at on FanDuel was way different than everywhere else. DraftKings, MGM, PointsBet. So FanDuel was really giving us a ton of value there, and Sahith was one of the biggest ones. And I'm glad we fired on it early because it dropped shortly after. So
yeah,
I'm with you.
I like Sahith a lot this week. I think you go back to Corey Connors. I liked him at the PGA Championship. I feel like this is another course that's got some kind of similarities. I mean, again, just a course where got to hit fairways, be a great ball striker. And then you're going to have to make putts on these fast greens. And we know that Corey Connors is always going to struggle with the putter, but still he really had just a great tournament at the PGA, and it just kind of fell apart a little bit on Sunday. But his game is in a good spot. His game is in a spot where he's won, this year. He can win again, and he plays well on this golf course. So I think that Corey Connors at 50 to 1 is another good one. Now, again, another number. I don't know. Maybe that was a little longer.
I can't remember if we got him a little longer. We may have, but I don't remember. But I'm with you. I agree on Connors at 50. That's one to look at. We say it every week. I'm going to keep doing it. Ricky Fowler at 45 to 1 was this morning was on FanDuel. I don't know. We fired on him as well. I think now he's probably shortened a touch. Let's see. 40 to 1. Yeah, I still want it. I mean, Ricky still doing his thing. Like, why would we hop off? We're not going to. So 45 to 1, we're going to keep doing that. I said this was the range, right? Shane Lowry, to me, this morning he was 55. We got him at 55 on FanDuel. He is currently still at 55, according to this. So, I mean, Shane Lowry on tough golf courses, demanding golf courses, firm, fast golf courses, approach play, scrambling ability around the green is all Shane Lowry. So I like that value as well at 55 to 1. Anybody else in this range?
I mean, is Adam Scott not tempting you a little bit in this range?
We talked about him this morning. I guess I can't say he's not tempting me. He's tempting me, but to me, it's just easy to resist.
I mean, it is easy to resist Adams. Well, I don't know. The ladies can't resist him.
Well, he's getting older. He's getting older. He's dressing weird. He's doing what old men do. I'm
just saying, Adam Scott comes walking down the fairway, and you're with your lady, and it doesn't matter how old he is. She's always going to say something.
It still happens. You were right, but I'm saying I think some of the shine is wearing. He's getting older. He's making weird fashion decisions. He's kind of. I don't know. I don't. He is playing well.
He's
obviously
playing really good golf, though. He really is.
But I mean, he's played really good golf since he last won, which was in 2020. I mean, he last won in February.
I know, but Justin Rose, DB. Justin Rose.
Emiliano Grillo. I get it.
There's a theme, potentially. Guys that haven't won in a while, they're winning. Jason Day. Jason Day's another one, DB. So all this evidence.
He's got a
Phoenix on your face is not telling you Adam Scott can do it this week.
I told you I'm tempted. I just feel like Adam Scott is one that is just easy for me to just dismiss. Like I don't. So, but who knows? Maybe the Phoenix speaks to me later in the week and something opens up. But for now, there are so many names in here that I like. I think I'll pass.
Okay.
I think I'll pass. Mm-hmm. I do have 3 names here coming up in the next range that I do really, really like.
Okay, well, that's good because I only have one.
Okay, good. I want to remind everybody about our friends at SoBet, where if you're using the code TJ right now, you are getting an incredible deal if you choose the 6-month option, which will get you into football season. Or you can do the month to month and just do your own thing, $9.95 a month. But if you use the 6-month deal with code TJ when you sign up, you're getting 6 months for a total of like $39. So it's a good discount there. SoBet, you have access to over 30 plus handicappers that are vetted and that are required to be transparent on the SoBet platform. This isn't like Twitter where anybody can start an account and say, hey, I'm good at betting, follow me. No, these guys, and we're on there for golf, but there's every single sport you can imagine on there. And when you post on SoBet, you post your reasoning for the pick, your unit allocation, and then when it's done, you're going to tell the people whether you won or lost. And so it's full transparency. It's a great site. If you're betting, if you're in a legal betting state, especially, like, there's no reason you shouldn't have this tool as well. Pick it is free. SoBet is a tremendous value for the access that you're getting. You can blindly tail some of these people if you want, but it's also the home of the exclusive Tour Junkies Top 40 Round Robin, which drops on SoBet every single week, and it is up over 10 units in just a few weeks. So link is in the description. Use code TJ when you sign up, and check out our friends at SoBet. Okay. Here's who I want.
Well, if you're going to put a phoenix on your face, DB, and you're going to need things to get right again, then there's no other person than Siwoo to help get things right.
I mean, dude, this morning he was 80-1. We fired on that quickly. As good as Siwoo's playing, he's got a great record here. Long enough, above average distance, very accurate off the tee. Irons have been solid. Around the green play is always good. It all comes down to the putter for Siwoo, but he's had some magic here. He's had some real magic here, especially in the last few years. It seems like Siwoo likes this renovation a little more. He's been playing better since they renovated it. I'm all in on Siwoo at 80-1, and whatever number he's at now. Where is it? Well, he's dropped down to 60 on FanDuel. Like, that's. I mean, I still want it. 60-1 I still want it, but you better get on it now. Like, people love him some Siwoo, but we got him at 80 this morning.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all, and I especially don't mind it when you're wearing a phoenix on your face.
Thank you. Who do you like in this range?
I have one person in this range, DV,
okay.
And that is Ben On at 120. He's at the top end at 125-1. You look at Ben. I mean, he played fantastic last week for the most part. He was up there. It's a difficult course, and he had some things kind of not go his way. Finished T21. But T14 at the AT&T Byron Nelson, he's got a good history here. Now, I know if you're looking at the last few years, he did miss the cut. That was a different Ben On, okay? Now we've got Ben On back,
He lost in a playoff here in 2018.
Yeah, in 2018. T2 hit there. T17 the next year. So I like Ben On a lot here, DB.
God, I love it, dude. I mean, 120-1 this morning. Also, I did check before this. I think this is something we talk about in the Nut Hut sometimes. If you really do like the upside on a bomb like this, but obviously closing the door and winning is really tough. He's 20-1. So is the next guy I'm going to talk about. He's 20-1 to finish top 5.
Yeah.
So, if you're like, man, I really believe in the upside, but will he actually get it done? I don't know. Kistler's talking about my wrist. I'm still this. I tell you what, the KT tape is a real deal. Like, it actually works. But every time I play golf now, my wrist gets re-aggravated. So I'm having issues.
Next guy, talk about how old I am all the time. You don't see any tape.
Well, it's the speed, Pat. You don't understand because you have to have speed. So, like, when you have the speed that I have, and you're making, you're compressing the ball into the ground, and creating good divot patterns and taking divots, which a lot of times you don't, because you hit off your back foot so much that you hit everything right in the middle of the forehead on the golf ball. So
okay,
you wouldn't understand.
I just was talking about tape. I didn't get into your golf swing and everything.
Well, I
didn't do all of that.
I'm telling you why you don't need the tape. I'm telling you why you don't need it. You don't need it.
Okay, well,
you might need tape for something else. I don't know. but you don't need it. You don't
I'm
need it.
just saying. I don't need the tape.
Good.
I mean, are you playing golf tomorrow, like right after the show?
No, but the KT tape over days, it helps everything heal. So no, I want it. I'm going to Hilton Head next week. I'm ready
Okay.
to. I'm playing
All
Hague
right.
Point. Playing Hague Point next week. I got to be dialed.
All right. Anyway.
By the way, I will not be on the show next week. So D-Gen dude will love that. He gets and I am working on a special guest for Pat to co-host. And God, if I pray that it happens. I pray it happens. Been talking about it for years. For years. God, I'm so excited. I swear, if it works out, I will actually be in the I'll be in the YouTube comments next week. I will make it a point to be in the YouTube comments next week. I can't wait.
Are you going to troll or are you going to just... Because
No,
you're going to be distracting if you're trolling.
No, I'm not. I can't make any promises. I'm not going to troll, but I am going to be active. I'm going to be active. I might try to drive the conversation even from the comments. That's just what I do. But I'm so excited about you guys possibly being paired up here. So I will not be. I'm on vacation next week. So
okay, all right. Let's move on.
Harris English at 120 to 1 is the next. He was 120 to 1 on FanDuel this morning. Let me check where he's at now. He's 110. Yeah, still 120 to 1 on FanDuel. I mean, I've been kind of waffling on Harris English, and I thought it was going to bite me in the butt after Saturday last week, but he ends up kind of bombing a little bit. But I think he's starting to show some consistency now with the ball striking, which is what we're used to seeing out of Harris English. We know he's calm, cool, and collected. He can win on tough golf. He can win on a tough golf course. I like Harris English's game for this place. I think he's one to watch, and 120 to 1 feels like a good number. And he's like Ben on. He's 20 to 1 for a top 5. Any bombs? Any more bombs for you?
I got 2 bombs that are one bomb that I think we could certainly bet is Eric Cole. Why Eric Cole always needs to be a bomb at 250 to 1.
Does he?
I feel like just because he's
burned
always up there at some point. Huh?
He burned me so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have Eric Cole. I have, and this guy burned me too. But I mean, Hayden Buckley at 250 to 1. I'm falling for because of the strokes ain't off the tee situation. He's very boomer bust. A lot like another guy who's at 300 to 1, Sepp Straka. I think Straka at 300 to 1 is actually not.
Straka was actually the one that I was going to say too. I think now I don't see him at 300 to 1 anymore, but
oh, he's not. He was 300
to 1 earlier. 250 to 1 on points bet.
Okay, well, 250 to 1, whatever. I like Straka on a tough golf course. He can show up on a tough course.
I'm telling you, man, this guy, and he's playing well
3 times here too.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple before we get to the top 20 locks. I got 2 bombs, top 5 bombs. You know who's back in the field this week, Pat?
Brandt Snedeker. He is.
God, is he?
I think he is.
Oh. I didn't notice. Someone very opposite of Brandt Snedeker.
Okay.
Who was one of the biggest DFS darlings last year for a time, a brief stint?
Oh gosh.
There it is. DT's got it.
I think I saw it in the chat, so I can't. You got to give DT credit since he put it up in the chat.
Chris Gotterup, the Nicholas Award winner last year, is back in, and he is 100 to 1 to finish top 5.
He hasn't been playing great. I've kind of been following him on the Korn Ferry Tour. I don't know if he's been playing great this year.
I mean, he hasn't been playing terrible. Here are his recent finish. Here are his finishes so far in 2023. I'll go back to the beginning of 2023 in the Bahamas. T66 and a miscut. Okay. Then 14th, 28th, 48th, 18th, 5th, 17th, 22nd, 47th in Knoxville. I mean, he's not like...
I mean, that's not great.
It's not great.
For a guy that really, like, if you're on the Korn Ferry Tour and everybody's loving you, you should be dominating there.
Yeah, but you know this. The Korn Ferry Tour is different than especially different than the Memorial. Like the Korn Ferry Tour is all just freaking birdie bonanza.
Oh, it is. I hear you, but I mean, Goddard, the way he hits the ball, you would think you would be able to just obliterate some of those.
Yeah, I mean, but they all hit it. They all hit it like that out there. Jeez, I mean, this is a guy who last year T4 at the John Deere, T7 at Puerto Rico. He's played in a U.S. Open, finished T43rd. Like, Travelers made a cut. RSM, both T35s. I think, he's got a little PGA Tour experience. Nicholas Award winner. I don't know. Like I said, it's 100-1. It's just 100-1 for a top. I don't need him to finish top 5. I know it's a huge field. I just think that one just kind of caught my eye. And another one that caught my eye is a guy who's playing exceptionally well right now. We've had him on the show. It's a tremendous interview back in the fall. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. And he's coming off a runner-up at the Byron Nelson, a 16th last week. But Austin Eckroat is popping right now. He's playing very, very well. I think he's confident. He told me on the show when we talked to him that he wants to play tough golf courses. I almost won the Byron Nelson, which is not a tough golf course, but he seems to have kind of found his stride. He's gaining a lot of strokes off the tee, doing his thing on approach, and he's been hot with the putter lately. I think Austin Eckroat, he's 45-1 to finish top 5. That also just feels interesting to me.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the top 26 pack, and we will get out of here. Last week, Pat, we only hit Ricky Fowler, which is a shame. We hit Fowler at plus 140, and Carson Young. God. He was finished. We just needed him to finish T20. Even the tie.
He was right there.
Dead heat, 7-1. Finishes 21st. 20. I was like, when he got in the clubhouse, I was like, oh, they're gonna fall back. Like everybody's gonna move back. He's gonna be comfortably inside the top 20. And then it just never happened. It was
I felt pretty good about Akshay too. I was
Akshay screwed up. We've talked about it. He can't do 4 rounds. He cannot do 4 rounds. But Akshay was looking good too.
There could be. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
All right, give me your 2 locks. 2 locks, top 20. Memorial.
All right, 2 here that I like. I was gonna give Jordan, but I'm gonna pass on Jordan. I'm gonna give 2 right here. I like Connors at plus 170. Yeah, and I like Sahith at plus 200. Those are my 2 top 20 locks. Okay. Sahith and Corey Connors.
What was Sahith's number?
Plus 200 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stick with it and go. I don't understand why we would hop off Ricky Fowler plus 165. I'm just gonna keep doing it. He at least keeps paying out these top 20s. He's paying those out. And then I think I'm gonna go with the lock at Tyrrell Hatton plus 125. I was tempted to actually go out to Siwoo at plus 240, but you've already got the Sahith one. Feels like a little bit of a bomb in the lock range. So we'll go Hatton, Fowler, Connor, Sahith.
Okay.
As locks. Give me your bombs. 1 bomb.
Yeah, I've got one, and actually you mentioned him, so you kind of stole my thunder a little bit. But Austin Eckroat at plus 600 was my top 20 bomb. Coming off of a T2 at the Byron Nelson, top 20 last week, playing well this year. So Austin Eckroat is my bomb.
Yeah, this is a tough decision here. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Alex Smalley. I'm gonna go Alex Smalley at plus 450. Like the way Smalley's playing. He missed the cut here last year, whatever. He's just not putting. But the off the tee game, the ball striking around the green's been solid. Top 20 at Wells Fargo in an elevated event. T23 at the PGA Championship. T40 last week at Colonial. So Smalley might be back. Discord will know what's up. All right, listen. Let's do the DFS show. Speaking of Discord, we'll see you at the lunchtime live chat with me on Wednesday, a little family time, and then obviously the Wednesday night live chat with me and Pat. Big shout out to our boy Brett Swedberg for hopping on and taking us a little bit inside the ropes there with his day with Adam Schenk on Sunday. That was awesome. And let's have a great week. The Phoenix. What sound is a Phoenix? What is a?
I don't know, but that sounded like a dying Phoenix, and you want a Phoenix.
I feel like it's more of a it's not like a bird like caca. It's more of a like a scream, like a shrill almost.
I guess. I don't know, but you need that thing to
I'll work
fly high, DB this week.
Please. I'll work on it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Happy Memorial Day. Bend over your bookies.